So the project is called The Delusion, and I call it an emotional machine. I was really worried that gallery spaces had started to lose their purpose. Instead of just going there to see art, maybe they could go there to visit something about yourself.
This exhibition is a kind of immersive multiplayer experience. People that enter the space become the players. It's really about kind of these I statements. It's about how you are interacting with each other. It kind of mixes elements of religious and spiritual paraphernalia, references to things like the back rooms, which was a space on 4chan and has since become an element of kind of online horror storytelling. For The Delusion, we've been working together for about a year, developing the project through a period of R&D, playtesting, development, and then now presentation.
I used to make these animation films, and someone said to me that they loved that they couldn't interact with the work because they could ignore what the work was about. And so for me, that was a moment where I really shifted and decided that the work wouldn't show anything until you interacted with it, and what you saw would be dependent purely on how you treated the work. I work in a very diaristic way. Everything I do is archiving some facet of my life or someone around me. And I like to work in that way so that the technology doesn't get in front of what we're making, and instead what we're making is embedded within the tech. We're really trying to make sure that the story and gameplay emphasize each other equally.
For this show, we brought together a team of people around Danielle who could really help her expand those ideas.
And so we brought in a series of writers and developers. And so they kind of took the lore that I wrote and started to write it out from a different perspective of emotions. So it was essentially a residency that lasted a week in which both the writers and developers worked and spoke to each other.
I like that you've separated it into hatred of self than the more political ones. I think that's really helpful for Danielle as well, because then hopefully she can pick the balance.
Usually we begin the project with an interview, and then I would take that and as a director stick everything together. And this period we've also done these interviews, but now a lot of the questions that I'm thinking about are presented to writers, and we're throwing ideas back and forth with the entire team.
So there is 4 mini games. Blow tried to integrate also some of the lines that you've written this week as part of the hope emotion, but something very raw and basic just to have kind of feeling.
I purposely chose a project that I thought was impossible. I chose an engine that didn't work. I chose a series of network games that all spoke to each other, which I hadn't seen before, with the key aim that people should talk to each other by the end of it. The Delusion really began to form there through a lot of conversations we were having together.
I think something about when you're gender non-conforming or trans is that you actually base your work off of who else is making work archiving each other. And I would say we've both done that in our careers, is try to archive what it means to be trans and gender non-conforming. I wonder how you feel in this project, bringing your work to such a big place.
I guess I don't see the work as feelers because I'm just doing it, but I want it to be earnest or honest, you know? And
Yeah.
I think that's what's lucky about the art world, is that it doesn't have to make sense in that way, but people can feel that feeling.
Earlier on in the year, we all came together again to do a play test in London. And it was really an amazing way for us to see how people would interact with the games for the first time.
We're trying to make all the games multiplayer, so people have to play them together. They get confronted with the same question, so there has to be some form of teamwork. Games that can't be completed without communication. We tested this very square, terrible, shaky table, and we found out that everyone loved the controller, and they would have conversations around the table. They just kind of naturally did it. So we knew we had some gold here.
One of the most important things for Danielle is to see how people communicate through the games.
I saw that people who had never played the game before, not only did they have fun, but when they lost or when they won, they turned to the person next to them. That's a crucial aspect that we're wanting people to do is turn away from these screens and turn away from these games so that they can actually engage with the human next to them. I think my whole practice has shifted towards making spaces more functional and everything serving a singular functional purpose, which is to have a conversation. We've done all this intricate total conversion just to make sure that when there's a moment to have a conversation, you might actually have it, rather than just thinking about it.
Through the exhibition, you will encounter 3 different new games that we've commissioned. We have the Border, a game that's controlled by a door through which you decide who you let in or out of the space. In the meeting room, you'll find the Unifier, a table that you control together with others. It's inviting you to think about what it means to collaborate, what democracy means. All of these different questions are gathered within this game.
You're all gonna really have to move as one to get up this hill.
The third game is in a room called the Democratic Room. In this room, you control the game using lamp guns called validators. The mechanism within this game is voting, and you decide what you spend your votes on with other people in the space.
I think it's really unique that in this space we have different objects that one might see as normal everyday objects, but that actually help you interact with the games.
It's definitely changed my whole idea of what a controller should be and how it should look in a gallery. The tech, I think, doesn't always have to be the most shiny thing in the room. We wanted the tech, yes, to shine, but at the same time be part of the wider installation, be part of the environment. We just got a lot more honest in the process about what wasn't working and what was, and what was an artistic decision and what needed to be absolutely functional.
Be a connection to others around you. When you are ready, open your eyes.
We really want this project to be able to offer an opportunity to rehumanise the debates that are all over your social media feeds. It's really exciting for us to be able to present this new chapter in Danielle's work. It's really an opportunity for us to figure out how we can use technology to bring people together.
I think what I'd really like people to take away from the show is that they have had an experience with someone that they don't know necessarily, or started a conversation with someone that they don't know.
Something I'm seeing in a lot of beautiful tech shows, the experience is very screen-based and the other people in the gallery are almost ghosts. I want it to really be the opposite. People in the gallery should be just as important to the play space as the games they're playing.